Hey everyone, this is Tony Reeves and this is Reeves Point of View. Today I want to talk to you about what it means to survive while your case is in legal limbo. Now, let me tell you what I mean by legal limbo. I've had this happen. I've dealt with this from both administrative standpoint as well as I've dealt with this from a civil standpoint. This is how it goes. A lot of times, most people, you've made the decision, there's a case you've got, you want to bring it forward, let's make this thing hot. And then what ends up happening is you're so excited, you're thinking you're going to get an outcome very quickly. And then all of a sudden, it's what we call hurry up and wait. And what they mean by that is basic, hurry up and get to the next point, and then once you've done with that, you're waiting for the next one to come around. And that's the part that becomes tough. And I often tell people when I used to practice law, depending on the area, I would tell them, brace yourself for this period of time. And what do you mean by brace yourself? Meaning, if you were relying upon what you thought you were going to get from the outcome of this case, get that out your mind. Treat this case as if you get it, it's the lottery. You didn't plan for it, you don't know if you're going to get it, and if you do get it, you're lucky, but if you don't get it, your life was not revolving around it. Why is that important? Because guess what? Depending on the circumstances, if you're dealing with a situation where you're going through an administrative process, or if you're dealing with a situation where you're dealing with what we call the adversarial process, where you're basically suing someone, there are steps and things that have to happen along the way. And as a result, you may have to find yourself in a position to basically be waiting for a long period of time for something to happen. And unfortunately, it's not that it's designed to penalize you. Is that if at different points of the process, you need to wait before you get to the next step of the process may be such where it's created so that you have to wait. For instance, when I used to do civil litigation, doing employment law, sometimes I would tell my clients, I would say, listen, the reality is probably the first juncture that you're going to have an opportunity to possibly settle this case is if we go to mediation. But when's that's going to happen? Think about this for a second. I'm going to put my demand letter out there. I said, let's assume you've gone through the normal processes. You went to EEOC or your state equivalent. All of a sudden, the 60 to 90 days has passed, whatever the time period they allow you to actually file a suit. And then what they do is they say, we're going to give you a right to sue letter. You sue. You file the suit on the individual. You give the individual a chance to respond. They respond. You file for discovery. They ask for discovery for different things. And then once all parties have swapped all that information, then you're doing a mediation. And you're like, well, how long does that take? That could easily, from everything I just said, that could be a year or longer, depending, just to get to that point. And again, let me stress to you, there's still no guarantee they're going to settle at that point. But why is that important for you to know? Because you need to wrap your brain around the reality that you may not see the outcome you're looking for until much further on down the line, until more things have happened. Because keep in mind, you figure file a lawsuit, they file their answer. They do discovery, I do discovery. They want to depose you, then I'm going to want to depose some of their people. And then once we get all that evidence and information together, then we may want to start talking about, do we have a case where it looks like we can settle this? In some places, the court actually wants you to go to mediation and try to work it out first before you come into court. Where some places, it's really up to the parties. So you need to keep all that in your mind so that this way, when you decide that you are going to keep fighting the good fight, and you should if you truly believe your rights have been affected, just know that you need to prepare yourself to not rely on that aspect of it in terms of your well-being. So this way you can survive knowing that this is not something you're relying upon. If you get it, it's a nice addition, but if you don't, it didn't affect you either way. Hey everyone, this is Tony Reeves. If you like my content or have any suggestions, please let me know, and by all means, make sure you share. The only way I can get my word out is you help me get the word out as well.